Philadelphia, city of brotherly love and mob warfare. In the 1980s, few people had a closer view of the bloody action than hitman Nicky the Crow Caramandi. The Crow admired the new and ruthless boss of the Philly mob, Nicodemo Scarfo.
He was a good boss. He was a beautiful guy as a person, but when it came to business, it was strictly business. He had to kill certain people when he became boss, and he wanted these guys dead.
Nicky the Crow had gotten into the Mafia slowly. A con artist by trade, he had spent most of his adult life gambling, stealing, and swindling.
Not that the people are suckers, but they are suckers because they're gullible for deals.
Nick Caramandi is the quintessential South Philadelphia con man who, because of a lot of different circumstances, ended up being a wise guy.
Nicky the Crow began as a junior mob associate, running scams for one of Scarfo's soldiers. His skills at ripping off suckers impressed Scarfo. Scarfo wanted not only to unify the Philadelphia Mafia, he wanted to run a smooth criminal enterprise. Nicky Caramandi was part of that plan. He soon became the Don's top moneymaker in the standard mob rackets: numbers, loan sharking, and extortion.
We started to shake down bookmakers, drug dealers, anybody that does things illegal, we'd shake down.
And if they didn't ante up the mob street tax, there was a higher price to pay.
They had to pay tribute for our protection. If they didn't, it was this. That was my job.
A job for which there was high demand in the regime of boss Scarfo. Scarfo had come to power in 1981 after a hit on the old boss, Angelo Bruno. Bruno had been known as a peacemaker, not Scarfo. The new boss was determined to eliminate anyone who didn't like the way he did business. One of those holdouts was Harry the Hunchback Riccobini.
When Scarfo took over, Scarfo wanted everybody paying tribute to him and under his thumb. And I think clearly the Riccobini faction balked at that. And that resulted in the war where you had Riccobini guys and Scarfo guys out roaming the streets of Philadelphia looking to shoot each other.
Scarfo put contracts out on 70-year-old Harry the Hunchback and Harry's younger brothers, Sonny and Bobby. The boss made it clear that any of his soldiers should consider it their duty to rub out the troublesome Riccobini brothers. Nicky the Crow and a few of his mob associates took up the challenge, not for money, but for the chance it might offer them to advance within the crime family.
You never get paid. There's no such thing as being paid for a hit. There's no such thing as outsiders that we hire to kill somebody. And for 2 years, all we did was just hunt people to kill them.
Nicky the Crow's immediate superior was Pat the Cat Spirito, a veteran Scarfo soldier. Pat the Cat and Nicky the Crow, along with fellow hitman Charles Iadich, began plotting the murder of Sonny Riccobini, but the plotting began to run into problems. Every time the hit squad was ready to go kill Sonny, Pat the Cat would call it off. Nicky the Crow began to believe that Pat was dragging his feet. He was right.
Pat gets drunk and starts talking treason. And he starts saying, hey, Scarfo's no good. These guys are no good. All they want you to do is kill, 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 kill. That's all we have to do is kill, kill, kill. I look at my partner, I say, hey, this guy's talking treason here. I don't want to hear this.
Now Nicky the Crow and his partner Charlie began to fear for their own lives. Scarfo was waiting for them to kill Sonny Riccobini, and the job wasn't getting done. They decided to go over Spirito's head and reported his treasonous talk to his boss, Salvatore Merlino.
He says, you see, Pat, it's this. Take care of it. It's a good thing you guys come here because you guys were in a lot of trouble. That means this when he means trouble.
Now Nicky the Crow had to turn his gun on his mentor, Pat Spirito. It was kill or be killed. Nicky and his partner Charlie devised a scheme to hit Spirito. They would murder him during one of their planning sessions for the Sonny Riccobini hit.
I was going to put a small 25 in my pocket. so Pat couldn't see it in my back pocket. I would be waiting outside my apartment house for him to pick me up and jump right in the car, the front seat. We would then go pick Charlie up.
Nick Caramondi and Charlie Ianich told Pat they needed to drop off some loan shark money at this corner. When Pat pulled the car to the curb, they would shoot him and run to a getaway car. But there was a glitch in the plan.
As we're going to the rendezvous point, where we're going to do it at, some lady trying to park a car and all kind of cars back up behind us. Charlie gets nervous, I'm nervous. We get to a corner, it's 4 corners. You got cars running north, you got cars running east. Charlie says, pull over here. Pat pulls over. He looks at me, I look at him. Now I'm waiting for Charlie, I got my hand on the door. All of a sudden, bang, and it made a hell of a noise. And Pat goes like this. Right, like his head leans right to me. And Charlie pumps another one. Bang.
Pat the Cat was dead. Now the 2 hitmen had to make their escape into crowded traffic, swarming with potential eyewitnesses.
I jump out of the car. Charlie gets stuck behind the car. Charlie was a big, muscular guy. And I'm pulling him out. And we start to run to the getaway driver.
There was another problem. The getaway driver didn't stop the car on cue.
This guy keeps rolling with the car. Stop, you son of a bitch. We're screaming at the guy. I'm screaming at the guy. Charlie's in shock. Charlie jumps in the back, I jump in the front. Go, go, go.
The final step of the hit was still to come. Nicky the Crow and his partner Charlie had to find alibis and get rid of the evidence.
After you do something like that, you got to go to a house to get cleaned up, change your clothes because of the gunpowder. It gets under your fingernails, it gets on your clothes. This is proof that the cops could use. You got to take a shower and you got to use vinegar, white vinegar, when you take the bath so all the stuff comes out of you. This all takes 15, 20 minutes. He goes and meets somebody. I go to this bar, and all of a sudden it comes on the 11 o'clock news. Mobster murdered. Oh, my best friend, and I start to cry. You know, oh, who killed him? Why would they kill him? You know, and I'm putting an act on, and everybody knows it.
It was Nicky the Crow's first hit. A murder that verified his loyalty and bolstered his standing in the Philadelphia mob. And there were more assignments to come. Without enforcers like Nicky the Crow Caramondi, the mob could not function. Mafia bosses must be able to follow through on their threats and teach a lesson no one will forget. Even the more peaceful dons must on occasion resort to murder. Otherwise, the daily business of the mob breaks down. Hollywood and popular culture have created an image of the mob hitman, a highly trained assassin who waits for contracts and then goes to work. The reality is that most rank-and-file mobsters can be called on to stalk and kill the enemy. Ruthlessness is an important qualification, but equally important is plain old convenience. The job of executioner often falls to whoever can get closest to the man marked for death. In the case of Pat the Cat Sparito, his killers were his own underlings. As we will see, the job can also be assigned to the target's best friend, or even his own brother. In 1982, South Philadelphia was on the verge of a gangland war. And the hitmen were out in force. Hitman Nicky the Crow Caramondi was doing battle for his boss, Philly's new godfather, Nicky Scarfo.
We had a hit list. There might have been 15 people on our hit list. The captain would tell us, you guys go after this guy or this guy. See if you could find either this guy or this guy. Either one, kill him.
Now it was time to follow through on their threats and wipe out the faction led by Harry Riccobini once and for all.
When Scarfo took over, he didn't care what happened, where it happened, or who it happened to.
Scarfo viewed Harry as a threat to his leadership, and started off by asking Harry's brother to set him up for the murder.
Scarfo sent his number 2 man, Consigliere Frank Monti, to talk to Sonny Riccobini. Everyone in Philadelphia knew that Harry the Hunchback and his brother Sonny had problems getting along. And Sonny was in an ideal position to eliminate the Hunchback. But Sonny turned out to be a bad bet. Not only did he refuse, he told his brother Harry about the plan to double-cross him.
I was surprised that they would even try that. And, well, I got together with my friends and planned what to do.
So Harry killed the messenger. He killed the consigliere.
Scarfo's number 2, Frank Monti, was gunned down by a young Riccobini associate. It was the first fatality in the war. Scarfo was furious. He wanted Harry the Hunchback dead. The word went out. Any and all Scarfo soldiers had standing orders to wipe out the Riccobini gang if they could.
Once the order is out that this guy's got to go, it could take a day, it could take a month, it could take a year, but he's going to get killed.
Finally, in June, they got a shot at him.
I was in the phone booth making a phone call, and I saw from a distance a rather shabby-looking guy walking along towards the phone.
The shabby-looking guy was a Scarfo associate, 24-year-old Salvatore Wayne Grande.
I knew it was something wrong. You could sense it. He came right to the phone booth. His arms start coming up with a pistol in his hand. Well, I saw that, and I jumped on him. I grabbed one hand with him with one hand. I grabbed him one hand. I grabbed the arm with the pistol, and he shot me, and he hit me in here. The first shot.
The bullet didn't slow Harry down. Instead, the older man grabbed for the hitman's gun.
By that time, we were tussling. Not that I'm a strong man or a big man, but I did all right. I set him back a few steps, and he shot again and missed. I grabbed him again. I took the gun off him. Well, lucky for him, it was empty. But not knowing it, I went to, you son of a bitch.
At that point, Grande ran. Harry was hospitalized for his wounds, but survived. 2 months later, the Scarfo hitmen struck again.
I was parked in the car waiting for a party, and I heard footsteps. So I looked around, I see another guy. He's got a mask on. I said, maybe this is it. And as he brought the gun up, I ducked under the dashboard. He shot the windows, but nothing happened. He just shattered the windows, and he ran.
It was really kind of a game of, it was, you know, when you're a kid and you're playing cops and robbers. I mean, these guys were out there looking for each other, trying to set each other up, and out to kill each other.
They stopped stalking, because then they knew that I was ready for them. In fact, I used to go out alone, hoping they would show up, but they never did.
Scarfo's hit team went looking for another target. Nicky the Crow Caramondi set out to kill Riccobini associate Frank Martinez. The Crow stalked Martinez and monitored his every move.
We watched him the morning before, go to work, we've seen what time he gets up, the light goes on upstairs, then the light goes off upstairs and it comes on downstairs.
Once they had their target's routine down cold, they made their move. 3 hitmen moved into action: Charlie Ianich, Gino Bonanno, and Nicky the Crow.
There comes Martinez.